All right, we're here. Another beer review from High Tide Imbibe. And lo and behold, we have something from Moosehead. Do a lot of Moosehead these days, considering their small batch side of their brewery has been very prolific last few years. So we have something I'm not super excited about, but who knows? It might be good. This is their sparkling IPA at 5.7% ABV. Um, so sparkling IPA, also known as a Brut IPA, IPAs that are designed to kind of replicate the mouthfeel and the dryness of like a sparkling white wine, essentially. And they can have all kinds of fruity flavors and all that shit, but they should usually finish pretty dry, um, less bitterness, less body, and should have like an effervescence to them if they're done correctly, I guess. It's, one of those newer IPA styles that have come out in the last few years. And, all things said and done about it, I at least like them better than haze bombs, juice bombs, milkshake IPAs, that kind of bullshit. Like, this is one of the least disagreeable um, variations of an IPA that I can think of. So we'll see how Moosehead does with it. All right. So yeah, pretty bubbly going up there. Nice head going on. Golden straw color. Looks a little darker on camera, as always. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that. And I probably don't, but I always end up saying it anyway. But yeah, looks pretty good. Looks like a lager, though. Like it looks very pale for an IPA. And generally the malt they use for these, like I didn't get a malt readout on this fucker or anything, but generally the malt they use for these is like a pilsner malt or something along those lines. They'll kind of shove in there to lighten it up a lot. Um, so yeah, let's go to the aroma and see what we think. Mm. A little bit of graininess, kind of lagerish in smell too. Like I was saying, they use Pilsner malt probably in this if they're trying to do this style. And so it is coming off a bit lagerish. There's kind of a sweet citrusy and berry note to it. I can't really. I think they actually list something on here, don't they? Barley. Okay, maybe these are aroma and tasting notes, but they say citrus and gooseberries. I don't assume they've added gooseberries or citrus. They'd probably say that on the can if they did, like we added this. But yeah, okay. I'm definitely getting like a sort of a slight citric kind of thing, like an orange or something, and there's some berry stuff going on. I don't know what gooseberries smell like offhand. That is kind of like somewhere in between strawberry and blackberry. Seems to be coming up there. Um, Smells okay. Not what you come to expect from an IPA, but keep in mind this is a different style of IPA. So, and I've only had one of these before. Who was it? Alexander Keith did one, and I can't remember if I liked that one all that much. I can't remember quite what it smelled or tasted like. I should have watched that review over again. Oh well. Anyway, cheers. Let's go to the taste. Mm. Very dry. Oh, we have my friend Vaughn from A Motion Picture Massacre on here. How's it going, Vaughn? So yeah, this kind of does what the style vaguely is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be champagne like and like dry, sparkling champagne, the kind of stuff you use for like a mimosa or whatever, right? Vaughn says he's good. Well, that's excellent, man. Not a lot of the aromas coming out in the actual taste. Like it's kind of just, honestly, I'm thinking yes, they use Pilsner malt here. It's just gonna kind of get that clean, lighter malt taste. Very dry finish, little bit of bitterness. Um, I'm maybe getting a teeny bit of a kind of a sweet, citrusy kind of thing going on, but it's not big. There's no real big hop character or anything like that to this. It's kind of weird. I wouldn't even categorize this style necessarily as IPA. I don't know. I feel like they just put IPA on it to make it sell better. Generally, when they kind of came up with the style, because people will buy anything IPA, but if you're just like sparkling ale, then what does that mean? This isn't bad, but it's dry. It's kind of bland. I guess you can get other examples of this that do a lot of dry hopping in the back end, so you'll get all kinds of flavor and shit. Um, added into it later, and you won't have necessarily the big bitterness or whatever. But this one goes very mild. Like this is kind of like basic. This is what the style kind of is supposed to be, and then like you can build on it, kind of thing. And so for that, I can't give Moosehead shit. There's nothing wrong with this beer. It's perfectly acceptable. So style wise, out of the limited examples I've had, that being two, it seems to at least fit the general descriptions I've read of what the style should be. So I'll sit like a 8 at it, because I mean, well, no, let's go 7.5. I think that's more fair. Room for improvement. Like there's room to do other stuff with this style, and probably make it a little better, tune it up a little bit. My own personal preference, I'd say about 6.5. I'd be like kind of on the fence as to whether I wanted to buy it again or not. Like if anyone handed it to me, definitely would drink it, because it's fine. But it's not what I'm looking for, really. And that being said, like I mentioned earlier in the review, I at least kind of prefer this to your juice bomb IPAs, your New England style IPAs, that kind of bullshit with all the tropical flavors and stuff. Like if you give me a brut or sparkling IPA that it's just kind of like base style, and it isn't concerned with giving me all these like weird tropical flavors at the end of it or whatever, I can live with that. I can definitely live with that. So 7.5 for style, 6.5 for personal preference. Your like or dislike for this may vary, of course. And there we go. Let's finish that off there. So one more look at the can. Moosehead small batch sparkling IPA. It's all right. It's not the worst thing this Moosehead small batch has come out with. So can't complain there. I have one other beer to do. It's another IPA variation that's sort of come out recently, last couple of years. So we'll be getting to that in, I don't know, 15, 15 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes, somewhere around there. But we'll be back for one more review tonight. But until then, thanks for watching, and be good. Maybe.